ዛችን ቱዴይ ፕሮግራማችን መጀመሪያ ያው እንግዲህ በሰላምታ ነው የምንጀምረው። በበዓል በብርድ በዚህ ሰዓት ስለመጣችሁ በጣም እጅግ በጣም አድርጌ አመሰግናችኋለሁ። በሞገድ ስም በአማራ ስም በዚህ በታገቱት ልጆች ስም እና ቤተሰብ ስም እንዲሁም በመላ ሰው በሆነ በሴትነት ራሱ በጣም አመሰግናችኋለሁ። በሚቀጥለው ፍትህና መንግስት ደህንነታቸውን ማስጠበቅ ሳይችል ለሚንገላቱት ወንድሞቻችን እህቶቻችን ለሁሉም ለሞቱብንም በዚህ ትግል ላለፉት በሙሉ የህሊና ጸሎት እስቲ ለአንድ ደቂቃ እናያዝባቸው። እግዚአብሔር ጸሎታችን ይስማልን። ቀጥለን ፔቲሽኑን እንግዲህ እንድትፈርሙት እንፈልጋለን። ግን ውስጥ ምን አለ የሚለውን እንድናነብ ነው። ከዚህ ውስጥ እንግዲህ አማርኛ ተናጋሪ የሌለ አይመስለኝም፣ ግን ፔቲሽኑ እንግሊዝኛ ነው። አነባለሁ። ፔቲሽኑ Human Rights Petition ይላል። Be a voice for the voiceless. Currently in Ethiopia, the rights of the Amhara people, just like all Ethiopians, are at risk. People are imprisoned, persecuted, abused, suffered crimes against humanity, violations of human rights because of ethnic-based and religious-based attacks. Since October 2019, alone, 45,000 ethnic Amhara students have been forcibly displaced, 22 students have been killed, 1,300 physically injured, over 1,000 students have lost their educational documentations, hundreds have reported sexual assaults, and 56 students have been abducted by ethno-nationalist group Qero. Qero is the Oromo youth that is linked with armed group OLF, Oromo Liberation Front, or Shemne, in the Oromia region, Ethiopia. There are 35 male and 21 female ethnic Amhara university students at the hands of these extremists. A survivor who escaped this ordeal gave an eyewitness report that paints a disturbing reality. She said that 17 students from Dambidolo University were taken off a bus targeted for their ethnicity alone. Among the 17 students, 13 of them are female. Their abductors are physically, mentally, psychologically, and sexually abusing the students. Regardless of ethnicity, sex, religion, or language, every human deserves the same basic and unalienable rights. We believe this to be true, but Ethiopians, and specifically the Amharas, are suffering discriminations, isolations, forced displacement, mass killing, abduction, and live with gross violations of human rights. The Ethiopian government is unable to ensure the safety and security of its citizens. Ethiopia is heading to a failed state status if nothing is going to be done swiftly and with great sense of urgency. The time to act is now. We strongly denounce these immoral, inhumane acts. We demand that the governments mentioned above, means the Ethiopian governments, the government of United States, and the international community, acts now. The time to act is now. This is our demand. Number one, we demand an official response from the Ethiopian government in regards to whereabouts of the Amhara students who are abducted. Number two, bring the abducted girls or students back home safely and provide all treatments and possibilities for rehabilitation. Number three, get lasting solutions for displaced students. The Amhara students who were left on the streets of major cities need permanent solutions. They are in need of humanitarian assistance. Number four, bring those who are responsible for these crimes and murders to justice. The armed group ethno-nationalists that have been creating havoc and mayhem everywhere they go, Cairo and OLF should be designated as a terrorist groups. Number 5, free political prisoners and prisoners of conscience. The judicial system needs to be independent of political. Number 5, free political prisoners and prisoners of conscience. The judicial system of Ethiopia needs to be independent and free of politics. Free the Amhara national movement, Mr. Christian Taibele and fellow brothers that are been there unjustly. Number 6, the right to assemble and the right for political presentation should be implemented in Addis Ababa and the Amhara region. And thank you. This is our petition, and if you carry this, please sign and be part of it. Thank you. After this, we will have some slogans in English. That would be Engineer Shifarow's time. Thank you. Engineer Shifarov.
All right, thank you. First of all, I really want to thank everyone who dedicated the time to really come out here in this condition. It's really cold out here. Really appreciate all of you guys. All right, so we're gonna start with the slogan, and just follow me. USA, 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 USA. Be aware, be aware, be aware, be aware. As we speak, as we speak, as we speak, as we speak. Amhara University students,
Amhara University students,
Amhara University students,
Amhara University students
are being killed,
are being killed,
are being killed
are being killed
for their identity,
for their identity,
for their identity.
for their identity.
Stop,
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 stop
killing
killing
Amhara students.
Amhara students.
Stop,
Stop
killing
killing
Amhara students.
Amhara students.
Stop,
Stop
ethnic-based
ethnic-based
abduction
abduction
of rapes. Amhara Female University
Amhara University students.
students
Release
abducted Amhara students.
abducted Amhara students.
Release abducted Amhara students.
Abducted Amhara students.
Bring back
Bring back
our Amhara students.
Amhara students.
USA,
USA,
USA. Be aware,
be aware,
be aware.
be aware.
As we speak,
As we speak,
Amhara people
Amhara people
are being killed
are being killed
just because
just because
they are Amhara.
they are Amharas.
Stop
Stop
ethnical-based
ethnical base
killing of Amhara now.
killing of Amharas now.
Stop beheading
Beheading
and stoning
and stoning
Amhara people.
Amhara people.
Stop
Stop
Amhara ethical policing. Stop forcing Amhara displacement.
Amhara displacement.
The forced displacements.
The forced displacement.
The forced displacement
The forced displacement
of Amhara people
of Amhara people
is immoral. It must be stopped now.
It must be stopped now.
Release
Amhara
prisoners
immediately.
Release
Amhara
prisoners
immediately.
Release
Christian
Tadala. Release Christian Tadala. Release iconic Amhara people promoters and other individuals. The Ethiopian government must stop imprisoning innocent
Amharas. Stop.
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 Religion.
Religion.
Based attacks.
Attacks.
Stop.
Stop.
Religion.
Religion.
Based attacks.
Stocks.
Politics
Politics
must be out of the religion.
must be out of religion.
And the destruction of religion
Religion
must be stopped now.
must be stopped now.
The United States government.
The United States government.
The United States government
The United States government
should help us
should help us
end
end
the suffering,
the suffering,
the disaffection
the disinfection
of Amhara people right now.
of Amhara people right now.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, G.
ኔክስት የሚቀጥለው ንባብ አለን። ስለ እሱም በእንግሊዝኛ የተጻፈ ነው። ቢኮዝ ሜሴጃችንን ማስተላለፍ የምንፈልገው የስቴት ዲፓርትመንት እንዲከታተልን ስለሆነ if you don't understand በአማርኛ ማስተርጎም ይቻላል። የሚቀጥለውን የሚያነበው ወንድማችን ዮሐንስ አምሮ ነው። ዮሐንስ ወደ ስለመጣ
Thank you, Zika. Yeah. That's cold, so please ይቅርታ አድርጉልኝ የተወሰነ ብታዋጣው። Okay. To the United States Department of State. This is urgent subject matter. Gross human rights violation in Ethiopia. We understand that the United States Department of State stands against human rights violations of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, ethnic cleansing, forced displacement, genocide, and destruction of cultural and historical heritage. Then you must stand with us, condemning these acts that are being committed against Amhara people right now. Currently, as we speak, the Amhara people are being subjected to gross human rights violations, ethnic cleansing, the forced displacement, destruction of cultural and historical heritage. The Amhara people are at the brink of genocide throughout Ethiopia. Brief introduction. Ethiopia is Ethiopia is one of the most populous nations in Africa continent, with the estimated number of about 110 million people living in it. The Amhara people is one of the major ethnic group in Ethiopia. The exact number of Amhara people exceeds 45 million. The Amhara people have been residing throughout Ethiopia for thousands of years. Amhara people have been residing throughout Ethiopia for the thousands of years with the rich culture, history, language, its own alphabet and calendar. The Amhara people played a significant role in creation of the modern Ethiopia as we know it, and defending the sovereignty of Ethiopia for thousands of years. Respect to all, harmony with other people are the fundamental traits of Amhara's people's culture. The Amhara people's current dire situations. Number one, in 2019 alone, more than 1,000 innocent Amhara people were killed by terrorist mobs like Kero for their identity throughout Ethiopia. Amhara students, children, old people, murdered indiscriminately by those mobs. And they were killed just because they were Amharas. The Badano, Benishangul, RC, Brayu, South Shoa, Jimma, Walkaiti, and Wallaga massacres were and remain the epicenters of Amhara people killing zones. Vicious killing methods, including beheadings, stonings, using guns, machetes, bows, and arrows, were used to kill and terrorize innocent Amharas. The Ethiopian government and the regional security forces have been oblivious to this openly committed atrocities or in some cases they have been condoning, helping, or involving in this atrocious acts. We have pictures and video evidences showing this carnage. This heinous crime committed against humanity and terrorizing the living Amharas must stop now. Recently, do you know that Ethiopian had the second highest human displacement in the world, second only to Syria? More than 3 million people have been internally displaced in Ethiopia. And the majority of these people are the Amhara people. Entire communities of Amhara people have been uprooted from their habitats. The Amhara people are leaving their homes behind, and their property are being subjected to burning, looting by these mobs. This dire situation is ongoing and exacerbating children's and women's mortality rate. Forced displacement of the Amhara people is immoral and must be stopped now. Number 3, the Amhara young university students have been attacked, harassed, and killed throughout Ethiopia. Recently, dozens of Amhara university students and in our other region were brutally killed. Some were beaten to death, some were thrown from the buildings, and some were stabbed to death. In December 2019, more than 21 Amhara students were abducted from Dombilolo University. Sorry, man.
Thank you guys. ለበረዳችን እናውቃለን። ዞሮ አድርገን ጨርሰን እንሄዳለን። ሶሪ ብዙም ሰው አልመጣም። እስቴትና አትደሳለኝን ሊደውሉ ይዘን ነበር። እንግዲህ እስከዛ ያለ ማድረግ ያለብን ይመስለኛል። ግን ሰው ቢኖር ጥሩ ነበር። ይሄንን ጨርስላችሁ
ከዚህ በላይ ይሄ በጣም ብዙ ሰው ነው። ከዚህ በላይ ኤክስፔክት ማድረግ የለም።
Thank you for your time. Number 2, recently, do you know that Ethiopia had a second highest human force displacement in the world, second only to Syria? More than 3 million people have been internally displaced in Ethiopia and the major city. The majority of these people are Amharas. Entire community of Amhara people have been uprooted from their habitats, and Amhara people are leaving their homes and belongings behind. And their properties have been subjected to looting by mobs. This dire issue is ongoing and exacerbating children's and women's morality rate. The forced displacement of the Amhara people is immoral and must be stopped right now. Number 3, the Amhara young university students have been attacked and harassed and killed throughout Ethiopia. Recently, dozens of Amhara university students and other regions were brutally killed. Some were beaten to death, and some were thrown to buildings, and some were stabbed to death. In December 2019, more than 21 Amhara students were abducted from Dambidolo University by the Oromo Liberation Front armed force. Most of these students are female, and they were repeatedly sexually harassed and beaten, and their parents and the Amhara people don't know where they currently are. The killing of Amhara students must be stopped, and the kidnapped students must be released. Number 4, innocent Amhara human rights and advocates and political dissidents have been imprisoned and silenced by the Ethiopian government and security forces. The exact number of the Amhara prisoners of conscience is unknown, but more than 500 innocent Amharas are imprisoned for speaking out against the Ethiopian government. The iconic and innocent Amhara people cause promoters like Christian Tadele, Baleta Kasa, and Fanta Molla have been imprisoned in cold and dark rooms for months. And the Ethiopian government must stop imprisoning innocent Amharas and release that all political prisoners must be free now. Number 5, currently in Ethiopia, religious-based attacks have been rampant, and that these attacks are forced on Amhara's religion, history, and cultural heritage. More than 40 historical churches, 4 mosques, Bibles and books were burned down, and religious leaders were killed by malicious mobs. The Ethiopian government has been deliberately ignoring these problems, even through these attacks, and being employed to incite panic and division in the people of Amhara and at the country whole. Politics must be out of religion, and destruction of religious sites must be stopped now. All of these problems are ongoing and worsening in Amhara people. Innocent people are dying and suffering. Therefore, please join us and pressure the Ethiopian government and secure the basic human rights and justice for the Amhara people. Please pay attention to these atrocities and oppressions against one ethnicity, and do what is in your power to stop them. We understand that the United States is a beacon of light for the whole world on respect of basic human rights, human dignity, freedom, and justice. Therefore, on this Martin Luther King Day, the iconic freedom fighter for humanity, we ask that the United States government to help us end the suffering and disenfranchising of the Amhara people right now. Be the voice for the voiceless. Bring all the Amhara girls back. Thank you. Alrighty. Thank you for all for coming. Again, I would like to tell you, you're probably up there and listening to us. Maybe the security is watching. These children could be your kids. These children could be your sisters. There are 17 kids abducted by extremist group named Kero, Oromo Youth. It is affiliated with armed group of the Oromo Liberation Front. And the Ethiopian government is doing nothing about it. Their PR has came out and lied to the public several times. We have documented human rights violation going on in Ethiopia, and we ask the United States of America, behalf of these people, to denounce and also to pressure the Ethiopian government into action. We demand that as American citizens as well, that the beacon of democracy, the beacon of human rights, the United States of America would not be standing and watching by the sideline while thousands of children, university students being attacked and killed, displaced because of their ethnicity. And I thank you all for coming. Next we have our slogan.
Department office is obviously closed today, but there are police forces, security forces here that must listen a few messages I'm gonna deliver today here. The main reason why we're here today is because our country, Ethiopia, is almost stateless right now. And we have a terrorist group, which you can find it in the International Terrorist Database in the United States. We can give you that name. It's called OLFA, Oromia Liberation Front Army. This terrorist group is breeding. It's almost the extension of Al-Qaeda, Al-Shabaab, ISIS, and Boko Haram of Nigeria. Their behavior, their action is almost the same. They behead people. They kidnap girls. They slaughter human beings alive. One day in the future, that action may penetrate to the United States. So it's not just Amhara people of Ethiopia. It's the security issue of the United States which must be checking up, stepping up in the Eastern Africa region of the world. I believe Ethiopia is the second Israel of United States. If something goes wrong in Ethiopia, that same exact problem is going to erupt in Israel. So, United States, President Trump, you must have the same watch over Ethiopia. Just like you have eye watch over Israel. This is not just Amhara people. Of course, Amhara people is more than half of the entire Ethiopian population. They are counting us to be the second next to the majority people of Oromia. But we are the majorities. Amhara people is the majority in every single part or piece of Ethiopian history. We are number one in population. We are number one to be founder of the country, Ethiopia. We are number one to be free, to value the dignity of freedom, to value the dignity of human being in the world, not just in Ethiopia. So the main point here, I know almost everybody is out today since it's holiday, but the security forces must pick up our message. This is a security threat issue, not just to Ethiopia, to United States too. These terrorist groups are breeding in Ethiopia. Somebody has to step up really early in the morning before it goes out of control. That's the main reason we're here in this cold weather. There are university students, 17 of them are kidnapped. We have no idea where these girls are. Their parents are crying day and night. We demand, we ask United States government to use space satellite cameras to find where these girls are. We are showing you solutions. You can help us. You can help us find where these girls are. These terrorist groups are very, very dangerous, behaving on these girls ranging from age 18 to 22. So we are sending message for you to think about what to do if these girls are your children. This is very serious and important for all of us, not just for Amhara people of Ethiopia. So please, security forces, police, take this message to Trump administration and discuss on it. It all helps everybody to take measures. That's why we are here suffering in this cold weather. Thank you for listening to us. እሺ የአማርኛ መፈክሮችን አነባለሁ። አብይ ገዳይ ነው። አብይ ገዳይ ነው። The Ethiopian Prime Minister is a killer. He is a killer. Abiy ገዳይ ነው። The Ethiopian Prime Minister is a killer. Abiy ገዳይ ነው። በግፍ የታሰሩ ያብን አመራሮች መፈታት አለባቸው። አማራን በጅምላ ማሰር መቆም አለበት። አማራን በጅምላ ማሰር መቆም አለበት። መንግስት በሴራ ለገደላቸው መሪዎች ብቸኛ ተጠያቂ ነው። መንግስት በሴራ ለገደላቸው መሪዎች ብቸኛ ተጠያቂ ነው። ሕገ መንግስቱ የአማራ ሕዝብ ጠላት ነው። ሕገ መንግስቱ የአማራ ሕዝብ ጠላት ነው። ጀነራል አሳምነው ጀግና እንጂ የወንድሞቹ ገዳይ አይደለም። በአማራ ላይ የተከፈተው የዘር ማጥፋት በግድ ይቆማል። በግድ ይቆማል። Stop Amhara Holocaust. Amhara Holocaust must stop. Amhara Holocaust must stop. አማራ በርስቶቹ አይደራደርም። አማራ በርስቶቹ አይደራደርም። በእስክንድር ነጋ ላይ የሚደረገው አፈና መቆም አለበት። የአማራ ጠላቶች ለፍርድ ይቀርባሉ። የአማራ ጠላቶች ለፍርድ ይቀርባሉ። አመሰግናለሁ።
What we are asking is for safety and security of its citizens. A government's foremost responsibility is to ensure the safety and security of its citizens, and Ethiopia is not happening. Ethiopia is number one now in internal displacement. Over 3 million Ethiopians are displaced. The ethnic federalism is not working for Ethiopia. It's not working for Ethiopia. Ethnic-based is targeting for innocent people to be killed. And so far we have seen last in October, 86 people were murdered in a very hideous and heinous way. And the international community needs to step up. Ethiopia is heading to be stateless. The government is not providing safety and security. And the justice system in Ethiopia is not free of politics. They're using justice as a whip for their purposes. They're putting political dissidents, anyone who is different from their views, or anyone they deem threat. So we demand that the international community, led by the United States of America, to be involved to save Ethiopia and Ethiopians. Because Ethiopia is geopolitically very important for East Africa. And a cell similar like Boko Haram and Al-Shabaab is growing in Ethiopia. And how we see that is they are forcefully displacing people, they are killing innocent people, and the way how they kill is so hideous even to describe. Humanity is in a threat in Ethiopia, and we ask for all international communities to get involved. But we met here to voice our call for justice, equality, liberty, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, freedom, the rights to be politically represented for the Ethiopians. So what we ask today here from the U.S. President is this. U.S. stood as a beacon of democracy and human rights. If the U.S. keeps silence, there is no moral compass or a guidance. And as a leader of the world, we ask for the United States of America to take up the right path to show to the Ethiopian government what they're doing is wrong. It is our moral obligation to stand up and speak up against wrong. Abducting and arresting 17 university students because of their ethnicity is immoral, and it is our moral obligation to speak up. And that's what we're doing here today. These kids were arrested because of their ethnicity. They were not part of a political party. They were not part of a dissident party. They were just a student. They stopped bus and they looked up their ID and they asked them to get off. And nobody knows where they're about. There is a gross violation of human rights. And we ask for the United States to denounce this and to pressure the Ethiopian government into action. That's our call, and I thank you all for coming today. Do you have something you want to say, or do you want me to lead it? Do you want me to lead it? Do you have?
Yeah.
Do you have some words, or you want to say? We need to make it short so they can hear us. For example, like we want justice. So I thank you. It is cold, so I'm going to say to all home. If you want to go to the White House, that's fine. But we want to say a little bit of slogan before we leave so they can hear us, okay? All righty. We want justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
When do we want it?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Now.
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
We want justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
Bring back our girls.
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 We want.
We want
Safety.
safety
Security.
and security
For the Ethiopians.
for the Ethiopian
Citizens.
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 Citizens. Justice.
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 Justice
For Amara.
for Amara.
For Amara.
For Amara.
Defend
Defend
Amara.
Amara.
Rights to live
Right to live
and work.
and work.
We demand
Demand
assassinations of Amara.
Amara.
Ethical cleansing.
Ethnic cleansing.
Amara genocide.
Amara genocide.
Amara genocide.
Amara genocide.
Must stop.
Must stop.
Must stop.
Must stop
Now.
now.
Ethiopian government.
Ethiopian government.
Ethiopian government
Ethiopian government
must put
must put
their hands
their hands
of Christianity
Christianity
and
and
most
mosques,
buildings.
buildings.
Okay, I just really want to thank everyone for coming here today. It's really cold. I really want to thank the government security forces. I know you guys are suffering with this weather. We really appreciate you guys for being patient with us. I hope you pass on this message to your superiors. This is very critical. You know, all of us are here for a reason because there are so many things going on in the Amhara region in Ethiopia. Over 2.5 million genocides. You know, the world needs to acknowledge this. We want the world to help us. This is very critical, and we will not stop until we have a solution. We will not stop.
በጣም ብዙ ጊዜ ሰጥተው ስለተሳተፉ የሆነ ቃላቶች ማለት ይፈልጋል። He wants to say some words for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for coming out in this cold weather. We need justice for Amhara people. The suffering Amhara people throughout Ethiopia, the students and all people, the children and the mothers and the old people as well. I have a slogan. Let's do it. Okay. State Department.
State Department.
State Department.
State Department.
Be aware.
Be aware.
Amhara University students
Amhara University students
are being killed
are being killed
now, for their ethnicity.
for their ethnicity.
State Department.
State Department.
State Department.
State Department.
Be aware.
Be aware.
Be aware.
Be aware.
Amhara people
Amhara people
are being killed
are being killed
just because
because
who they are.
who they are.
Stop.
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 Stop
The killing
the killing
of Amhara people.
of Amhara people.
Stop.
Stop
Stop.
Stop.
Killing
the killing
of the Amhara students.
Amhara students.
Stop.
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 Stop
Ethnic-based killing of Amharas.
ethnic-based killing of Amharas.
Stop.
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 Stop
Amhara ethnic cleansing.
Amhara ethnic cleansing.
Stop. Stop. Amhara forced displacement.
Amhara forced displacement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Okay. Do you he has something you want to say? And
I
I hope security camera are recording this video, this event. Hopefully, President Trump and Justice Department will review the video. So we are warning that the next Rwanda will be happening in Ethiopia, unless otherwise the U.S. Department and the State Department and the U.S. government take an action on the human rights violation going on in Ethiopia. So we demand U.S. government to take an action before the next Rwanda happens in Ethiopia. So U.S. Department, State Department take an action in Ethiopia as soon as possible before everything is over. UN and US Department are communicating each other, and US government can take an action on it. Many political prisoners are in Ethiopia now. They have to be released before the election 2020 in Ethiopia. Those students have to be released. Those abducted students have to be released. U.S. Department and U.S. government should take an action. Thank you very much.
I think this is ከመሀላችን እምነት የገፋ ወይም የሸመገለ ሰው ቢኖር በጸሎት ቢዘጋው ደስ ይለኛል። በጸሎት ኦኬ። እንግዲህ ሁላችሁም በእውነት ስለመጣችሁ በጣም አድርጌ አመሰግናለሁ። እግዚአብሔር ይስጥልን፣ እግዚአብሔር ያክብርልን። በዚህ በተነፋሽ ድምፅ ልንሆናችሁ ስለቻልን እናመሰግናለን። Again, our request, what we ask of you, the United States government, is to avert another Rwanda. The international community was late for Rwanda. They get there, by the time they got there, the genocide is done. And the machete that was imported in Rwanda was up 2 years prior of the killing. And the last 3 years is the most exported item in Ethiopia is machete. And we ask the United States take notes and avert another Rwanda in Ethiopia. And we thank all of you for your time. We are dismissed, and have a great day.
Thank you guys.